atheism, the rejection or the non-belief that any deities or gods or any religions exist. The rejection and the disbelief that any of it is real. So, my question was, if atheists reject and do not believe that any religion is valid and does not exist, what do you have to talk about? You don't have any debate. You don't have anything to talk about. But yet these neo-atheists, and pretty much most of them are on YouTube, what they do is they go into this whole banter, they go into this whole routine of attacking something that they apparently don't believe in, don't think exists, and they reject the idea of. That doesn't make a whole lot of freaking sense, does it? No, and it irritates me that they want to attack us Christians, they want to attack us religious people because they feel that we're opposing our beliefs on them. Now, how is me sitting here behind the camera saying, yeah, I love God, I know God, I have a personal relationship with God, and that's it? How is that pushing any beliefs on anybody? How is that affecting anybody? It's not. The only way it's affecting you atheists is because you're insecure. It's because you're in denial about the whole thing. You think that there's a possibility for it to be out there, otherwise you wouldn't have anything to discuss, and you wouldn't have any reason to dispute us religious people about our personal beliefs. So, get ready, here we go.
It is a question that if you are an atheist and you have been out there telling people that you're an atheist, you will have been asked before. It's a question that theists very often ask of atheists. I know for a fact that it has been asked of me many times before. It's basically this. If you are an atheist and you are not religious yourself, then why do you care so much about religion? And rather than just trying to directly answer that question,
well, then you should end the video right there. A person becomes an atheist because they choose to reject and not believe in the existence of a religion or the existence of gods or deities or whatever. Doctors do not reject diseases or sicknesses or illnesses or even disorders. They embrace them. Otherwise, they would not be a doctor. So that comparison is a complete, utter fail. But at least you came out and said you're not going to answer the question, because most other atheists, these neo-atheists here on YouTube, apparently, they just go ahead and not answer the question without saying it. They just dance around and dodge the whole subject to begin with. But there shouldn't be a subject because you don't believe in religion and you reject the idea that it even exists, that any of it's even real. So, once again, how does it affect you? Let's see if you actually answer this question. Let's see how well you do with this.
I would like the listener to just compare this with asking the same question of somebody else. If you are a doctor and you're not yourself sick, why do you care so much about disease?
You're comparing a personal belief that somebody has with a deity to a common practice, occupation. So by your comparison, there's doctors out there because they don't believe that diseases exist or illnesses or disorders exist. They reject it. They reject any kind of illnesses and they don't believe in them. So that's why they become doctors. That's what you're putting out there. That's what you're putting forth. You know, I'm really getting sick of this whole runaround thing. This whole beating around the bush, dodging a question, and all this other bull crap. If you can't answer the question, then don't even bother to debate. You tell us we can't prove God exists. We tell you you can't prove he can't. So we're at a stalemate. So just leave it at that. And quit trying to rationalize and throw in red herrings and all this other stuff and try to twist and turn things to fit your agenda for the moment. When you know clearly that you really don't have an argument.
If you are a police officer and you're not yourself a criminal, why do you care so much about crime?
And if police officers were like atheists, they rejected the idea of what they went into the occupation for, they wouldn't be a police officer. I don't mean any offense by this, but this is another stupid question, another kind of a stupid comparison. Because with atheism, what you're trying to do is you're trying to compare real life occupations, what you consider to be good occupations or people doing good, with atheism. And what makes these people care about crime is the fact that it physically exists, and it's not that they care about crime, it's that they care about keeping people safe. Now, you gotta keep in mind that there are good and there are bad cops. There's crooked ones and there's bad ones. Now me, as a combat veteran of 6 years in the U.S. Army, I can tell you my personal reason for becoming a soldier, which I decided I wanted to be at age 7. Now my personal reasons for it was to protect the citizens of the United States of America, to protect the Constitution from becoming toilet paper, which is slowly happening right now, and also to feel good about what I do. You know, just like the whole doctor thing, you know, maybe some cops became what, you know, they are because of the status quo, maybe the power trip. Maybe some of them actually want to do good. But then you got to realize that there's ones that are going to abuse. They're going to have that whole arrogant power trip where they're going to abuse their power. They're going to arrest people who don't deserve to be arrested. They're going to tase people who don't deserve to be tased and all that kind of, you know, nasty stuff. But cops don't become a cop because they reject the idea of crime. For me to ask an atheist why you care about religion makes sense because you reject religion. To ask a cop why he became a cop is not because he rejects crime. See how stupid that sounds? So there's no comparison between the two because the cop does not reject crime. He accepts it and realizes it's there and knows it's there and can prove it's there. That's why he's a cop.
You catch my drift? I'm not, you know, the examples that I can think of right now happen to be very negative examples. Doctors versus disease, police officers versus crime. Do not read that into what I'm telling you. I'm just saying a person can quite easily be fascinated and intrigued and interested in a subject that applies to something that doesn't apply to the person himself.
But see, the whole difference there is that you make that choice for it not to apply to you. You make that conscious choice to disbelieve in it and reject it. So therefore, if you're going to reject something and you don't want to believe in it for whatever reasons, because you think it's maybe corrupt or whatever, then why do you want to have anything to do with it? There's nothing wrong with that question. If you think something is disgusting, or if you just think something's just bullshit, and you want to reject it and you choose not to believe in it because you think it's all just a bunch of fairy tales, then why are you interested in something that you don't like? I can't get past that. I can't understand that thinking.
In the case of an atheist, we can be very fascinated by the different religions that people around us have. none of which makes sense to us, none of which will ever, as far as I can tell, appeal to me personally, but are absolutely fascinating to see that there are so many people around me that believe in so many different things.
Okay, so you reject religion. You don't believe in religion or deities, and you totally discredit any of it. Okay, we understand that. And why do you want to prove other people wrong about something that you don't believe exists?
And that's all there is to it, as far as I'm concerned. Now, obviously, I also have another agenda, and that is that atheists are still being marginalized in our societies. That is an injustice that I want to see addressed. That is another reason why I care so much about religion.
So what do you want from us? An apology? No. The reason you're being marginalized is because there's less of you. There's less of you to choose your lack of belief, your rejection. Okay, you gotta understand something. Most of the population on this earth are religious in some way or form. No matter what spectrum of it is. Whether it be Judaism, whether it be Buddhism, whether it be Christianity, whether it be Hinduism, you have whatever it is. You get the idea. So you choose to be an atheist, we choose to be religious. But don't blame us for you being marginalized, for you choosing a lower populated culture or bandwagon or whatever it is. It's not our fault you made your decision to be part of a minority. Don't put that on us. Own up to your own choices, own up to your own decisions, and own up to the fact that you don't believe in it and you feel threatened because you are part of a minority and you're insecure about the whole damn thing. And to see other people getting along just fine, believing in God, pisses you off. I'm so sorry. But that's just the way it is. And all I can do is pray for you.
So, you don't need to be religious to care about religion. And I'm not entirely sure why that question gets asked so much.
So, in this video, you wanted to compare silly metaphors. Okay, so I'll play along here. Let's just say, okay, you asked me about werewolves. I tell you, I don't believe in werewolves. I don't believe they exist. I don't believe they ever existed. I reject the idea that werewolves exist and that there's no way possible that they could ever exist. I don't believe in them. And then you try to wave me to believing that there's werewolves. Does this mean that I'm going to carry around silver bullets on me? No, because I don't believe in them. I reject them. I totally dismiss the idea that it could even be conceivable. So, is there any need for me to carry silver bullets? No. Think about it that way.